Picture this. It's a sunny Saturday afternoon in San Francisco, and you're strolling through Chinatown. Normally, the streets are alive with the chatter of tourists, the clatter of dim-sum carts, and the flash of cameras capturing the ornate gates and dragon murals. Now, imagine those same streets eerily silent, with shopkeepers sitting idle and closed signs flickering in the windows. Shift your gaze to Los Angeles, where Rodeo Drive should be buzzing with luxury shoppers, their arms laden with designer bags from Chanel or Prada. Instead, you see empty storefronts and a handful of locals wandering aimlessly. This isn't a scene from a post-apocalyptic film. It's the stark reality of San Francisco and Los Angeles as of 3:24 p.m. Eastern European Summer Time, Saturday, May 31st, 2025. These two California powerhouses, known for their iconic landmarks and vibrant tourism scenes, are grappling with a dramatic decline in Chinese visitors, a direct result of President Donald Trump's aggressive trade policies and provocative rhetoric. In 2024, China sent over 2.5 million tourists to the United States, injecting a staggering $12 billion into the economy, with California, especially San Francisco and Los Angeles, reaping a significant share. Chinese travelers, with their love for shopping, dining, and cultural experiences, were a lifeline for these cities. But now, the U.S. Travel Association reports an 11% drop in Chinese arrivals in the first quarter of 2025, with projections pointing to a deeper decline as the year progresses. Trump's decision to raise tariffs on Chinese goods to 20% in February 2025, combined with his America First stance, has sparked a tourism crisis that's emptying hotels, shuttering businesses, and leaving workers in despair. This video takes you on a journey through this unfolding drama, exploring the causes, the human stories, and the uncertain future for these Golden State gems. Stick around to the end for your chance to weigh in. Let's get started. Let's rewind to the beginning of this saga. In February 2025, President Trump escalated his trade war with China, hiking tariffs on Chinese imports from 10% to 20%. This wasn't a minor tweak. It targeted a wide range of goods, from smartphones and laptops to luxury handbags and cultural artifacts that Chinese tourists often purchase during their U.S. visits. The stated goal was to shrink a $300 billion trade deficit, but the ripple effects have been anything but controlled. For Chinese travelers, already wary from years of U.S.-China tensions, this move was a red flag. The Chinese government responded swiftly, issuing a Level 2 travel advisory in April 2025, warning citizens about safety concerns and economic risks in the U.S. This advisory, reminiscent of a similar warning in 2019 that cut U.S. visits by 4%, has had an even bigger impact this time around. Flight data tells the story. San Francisco International Airport, San Francisco Airport, has seen a 15% reduction in direct flights from Beijing and Shanghai since March, leaving gates empty and airline staff anxious. Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, reports a 12% drop in the same period, with fewer planes touching down from Chinese hubs. Travel agencies in China are feeling the pinch too. Searches for U.S. travel packages on Trip, the country's leading platform, have plummeted by 40% since the advisory, with San Francisco and Los Angeles seeing the steepest declines. Why? Because Chinese middle-class families who once planned $10,000 California vacations are now opting for safer, cheaper destinations like Thailand or Japan. Add to that China's retaliatory 15% tariff on U.S. agricultural exports, which has squeezed household budgets, and you've got a perfect storm. Trump's rhetoric, including threats of further trade escalations, has only fueled the fire, turning the U.S. into a less appealing travel destination. San Francisco's tourism scene has always had a special sparkle thanks to its Chinese visitors. Chinatown, with its vibrant markets, historic temples, and mouth-watering dim sum, has been a magnet for over 300,000 Chinese tourists annually, each spending an average of $4,000 on shopping, dining, and cultural tours. In 2024, that translated to $1.2 billion for the local economy, supporting hotels, restaurants, and small businesses. But as of May 2025, that sparkle is fading fast. The San Francisco Travel Association reports that hotel occupancy rates have crashed to 72% from 85% last year, a loss of over 10,000 room nights per month, equating to tens of millions in lost revenue. Chinatown is ground zero for this crisis. Walk down Grand Avenue, and you'll see a stark contrast to the bustling scene of just a year ago. Mei Lin, a third-generation shopkeeper who sells silk scarves and jade trinkets, paints a vivid picture. Last year, I'd sell out every weekend, she says, her voice tinged with frustration. Now, I'm lucky if a Chinese tour group stops by once a month. Foot traffic is down 20%, and restaurants like the Golden Dragon are struggling. Owner Henry Wong recalls, "We used to have lines out the door for dim sum on weekends. Now we're serving half the tables, and I've had to lay off 5 of my best cooks." Luxury retailers at Union Square, including Louis Vuitton and Gucci, are also reeling, with sales to Chinese tourists down 30% as high-spending shoppers stay home. The ripple effects are everywhere. Cable car operators report a 15% drop in ridership, while Fisherman's Wharf Souvenir stands sit empty. On X, locals are sharing their shock with posts like, "Chinatown feels like a ghost town since the tariffs hit," accompanied by photos of deserted streets that have racked up thousands of views. One viral clip shows a lonely dragon dancer performing to an audience of pigeons, a heartbreaking symbol of the area's decline. The tech sector, which often hosts Chinese delegations, is feeling it too, with conference bookings down 18% in 2025 for the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. This isn't just a tourism issue, it's a citywide crisis. Now, let's head south to Los Angeles, where the tourism landscape is equally grim. LA has long been a dream destination for Chinese tourists, who brought 1.2 million visits and $5 billion to the city in 2024. They flocked to Hollywood studio tours, snapped selfies of the Hollywood sign, and splurged on Rodeo Drive, making it a global shopping mecca. But by May 2025, the Los Angeles Tourism and Convention Board reports a 10% drop in Chinese arrivals, slashing spending by $600 million in the first 4 months alone. That's a massive blow to a city where tourism is the lifeblood of the economy. Hollywood, LA's crown jewel, is taking the hardest hit. Studio tours at Universal and Warner Brothers, which once saw 3 Chinese tour buses a day, are now lucky to see one a week. Maria Gomez, a tour guide with 10 years of experience, shares her story. "I used to guide groups of 50 Chinese tourists, explaining movie magic and selling $100 merchandise packages. Now, I'm lucky if I get 10 people a day." The revenue loss is estimated at 15%, a significant dent for studios already navigating post-pandemic recovery. Hotels near LAX are struggling too, with occupancy rates dropping to 78% from 88% last year, leaving rooms vacant during what should be peak season. Rodeo Drive, the glittering symbol of LA luxury, is a shadow of its former self. Sales to Chinese tourists, who accounted for 40% of the district's revenue, have plummeted 30%, forcing boutiques like Chanel and Prada to close stores or offer deep discounts. "We've lost our biggest customers," says retail manager Sarah Chun. "The streets are quiet, and the for lease signs are multiplying. Transportation services are suffering as well. Taxi drivers like Carlos Rivera, who once earned $200 a day shuttling Chinese tourists from LAX to Hollywood, now make half that." On X, a local posted, "No more Chinese tour buses. Rodeo Drive is losing its sparkle," with a photo of empty sidewalks that sparked a firestorm of comments. This isn't just a tourism dip, it's a cultural and economic unraveling. The decline in Chinese tourism isn't confined to hotels and shops. It's rippling through every corner of San Francisco and Los Angeles. In San Francisco, the tech industry, a global leader, is feeling the void left by fewer Chinese business travelers. The San Francisco Chamber of Commerce reports an 18% drop in conference bookings in 2025, costing the city millions in potential tech investments. Conferences that once drew hundreds of Chinese engineers and executives are now half empty, with organizers scrambling to fill seats. Restaurants, especially those offering Cantonese cuisine, are on the brink. The Golden Gate Restaurant Association estimates a 22% revenue drop, with some family-owned spots like Wang's Dim some facing closure after 30 years. "This is the worst I've seen," owner Henry Wang admits. "We're cutting staff and praying for a turnaround." In Los Angeles, the film industry is grappling with a double blow. Chinese co-productions, which brought in $200 million in revenue in 2024, have stalled as studios fear a backlash from Beijing. Universal and Warner Brothers have shelved projects targeting the Chinese market, losing potential deals that could have boosted local jobs. Transportation services are hit hard too. Taxi and shuttle bookings at LAX are down 14%, leaving drivers like Carlos Rivera worried about paying rent. "I used to count on Chinese tourists for steady fares," he says. "Now, I'm barely scraping by." Small businesses, from souvenir stands at Fisherman's Wharf to art galleries in LA's Arts District, are pivoting to local customers, but the shift isn't enough. A gallery owner in LA notes, "We've lost our international flair, sales are down 25%, and we're rethinking everything." This crisis is a wake-up call for an economy built on global appeal. So what's driving this exodus of Chinese tourists? It's a perfect storm of policy, perception, and economics. The 20% tariffs on Chinese goods have raised the cost of U.S. products, making American destinations less attractive compared to tariff-free alternatives like Japan or Thailand. But it's more than just money. Trump's rhetoric has painted a picture of an unwelcoming America. His threats of further trade escalations and comments about unfair Chinese practices have fueled a narrative that the U.S. is hostile to Chinese visitors. The Chinese government's Level 2 travel advisory in April 2025, citing safety concerns and economic risks, has amplified this fear. This isn't a new tactic. China issued a similar warning in 2019, cutting U.S. visits by 4%, but the current climate has made the impact more severe. On Weibo, China's social media giant, the sentiment is palpable. Hashtags like #AvoidUSA have trended since March, with users sharing memes of Trump with captions like "Stay away from the U.S." One post from a Shanghai teacher reads, "I was planning a California trip for my family, but with the tariffs and warnings, we're going to Korea instead." Travel agencies report a 40% drop in search queries for U.S. packages on Trip, with San Francisco and Los Angeles seeing the biggest losses. The tariffs have also hit Chinese wallets hard. China's retaliatory 15% tariff on U.S. agricultural exports has raised food prices, reducing the disposable income of the middle class, who once saw California as a dream vacation spot. On X, American users are starting to notice the shift. China used to send millions of tourists. Now they're gone. One posted alongside a photo of an empty tour bus in LA that's gone viral. This is a global standoff with local consequences. This isn't just a California story. It's a global chess game. U.S.-China relations have been rocky for years, but Trump's 2025 policies have pushed tensions to a boiling point. The 20% tariff hike is part of a broader strategy to pressure China on trade and security issues, but it's backfired on tourism. China's travel advisory has been a diplomatic jab, signaling displeasure and encouraging citizens to explore other destinations. Retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods, like soybeans and pork, have hit American farmers, indirectly reducing the spending power of Chinese consumers who might have traveled. Other countries are watching closely. Japan and South Korea have seen a surge in Chinese tourists, with Japan reporting a 20% increase in arrivals since April 2025. Thailand and Vietnam are marketing aggressively, offering visa-free entry and lower costs, options that California can't compete with under current tariffs. On X, a travel blogger from Shanghai noted, "Why risk the U.S. when Thailand's beaches are cheaper and safer?" This global shift underscores the stakes for San Francisco and Los Angeles, where international tourism was a key driver of growth. The 2028 Los Angeles Olympics loom as a potential lifeline, but with U.S.-China relations at a low, securing Chinese attendance will be an uphill battle. Screenshot source: BBC News. Use maps or articles on global tourism shifts for a broader perspective. Despite the gloom, San Francisco and Los Angeles are fighting to reclaim their tourism crown. San Francisco's Welcome Back campaign is in full swing, with billboards in Dallas and Chicago showcasing the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz tours. The city is targeting domestic travelers from Texas, New York, and Arizona, who account for 40% of current visitors. Los Angeles is casting a wider net, promoting its beaches and film studios to India and South Korea, where arrivals grew 12% in 2024. The California Tourism Commission is lobbying Washington for tariff exemptions on cultural exchange programs, hoping to bring back Chinese students and families who spend heavily on education tours. But the road to recovery is fraught with obstacles. Industry experts like Sarah Johnson from the Pacific Tourism Association warn, rebuilding trust with Chinese travelers could take 3 to 5 years, especially if tariffs persist. Hotels are experimenting with discounts, some offering 30% off for domestic bookings, while restaurants are tweaking menus to appeal to local tastes. The 2028 Olympics offer a glimmer of hope, with LA planners eyeing a $1 billion tourism boost if international relations improve. San Francisco Mayor London Breed has been vocal, urging federal support. "We can't let the Trump effect destroy our tourism industry. We need help now." Yet, with China's travel advisory still in place and no sign of diplomatic thaw, the future remains uncertain. So, what do you think? Can San Francisco and Los Angeles bounce back? Or is this the new normal for California tourism? Has Trump's trade war gone too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video if you found it eye-opening, and subscribe for more updates on how global policies are reshaping our world. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a story. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the conversation going.